Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dana Foreman for Denville Community Media, and we're here at the reorganization meeting down here at Hall. We'll be starting this meeting momentarily, so please stand by, and we'll bring you the best of all of Denville as we have the reorganization meeting for 2025. Please stand by. Our program will begin shortly. Current time is about 7:50 or 6:50 p.m. We'll be starting at 7 o'clock, so people are filling in at this time. Everybody, well-wishers and the like. So we'll be enjoying this evening. I hope you enjoyed this broadcast, and please like and subscribe. Um, and we'll be joining you momentarily. Thank you.
Or I can, and you can sit there and consume it. Well, you have it ready to go. Well, I'm consulting stuff with little wooden cabinets downstairs. So I brought it all the way upstairs and put all my, and I put all my, stuff that I'm using all the time. So I'll be able to bring it in. So, right where they have to be, because he's got to move them anyway. So it doesn't make a difference if you're in the door or if you're not. They took the old ones in there. So it was no setup, no delivery, no nothing cost because we traded in the old one.
Very.
That worked out great.
That's way more important.
So we have more than we did right now, especially with the size of this. I've been trying to get with him because everybody's complaining about the about the dodgeball. He just sits there and doesn't do anything with the kids with the first, this like 4-year-old daughter was leaving class and stuff like that. He's not getting back.
Oh, here. Oh, perfect. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no, we have,
Just walk back.
and you can have it ready to play. So October, November, December, it should be just about, it should be on our second. Right, getting ready to bid, yeah. No, and that's not the point. Exactly, that's how we always agree. No, and the price we're getting, we really should do that. Right. Exactly, exactly. I mean, for 8 weeks of the price we're getting.
It's 7 o'clock. We're going to call the meeting to order. I'm going to hand it over to the town crier.
Oh yay! Oh yay! Oh yay! Welcome to all residents and guests of Denville, the hub of Morris County, established on April 14th, 1913. Our township is known for its beautiful lakes, marvelous downtown, and most of all, its remarkable volunteer spirit. We gather this evening to attend to matters of our annual reorganization of the Township of Denville. At this meeting, the Town Council President will be selected, and we will hear the state of the municipality address from the Honorable Mayor Tom Andes. As we come together, let us set forth the course for the year ahead and continue to build upon the strong foundation of our beloved township. Your presence is valued as we move forward in unity, progress, and pride. May my words that you hear bring a smile to your face. At this time, I would like to turn over the meeting for this evening's proceedings to our Township Clerk, Mr. Matt Bench.
Thank you, Town Crier. I don't know how I follow that. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2025 reorganization meeting of the Municipal Council of the Township of Denville. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice for this meeting has been provided by sending notice to the citizen of Morris County, the Daily Record, the Star Ledger, and by posting notice on the Township website and on the bulletin board outside the clerk's office. At this time, please silence all electronic equipment. Please stand for the salute to the flag and remain standing for the singing of the national anthem by Mackenzie Haggerty.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we'd watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you.
Please remain standing. At this time, Rabbi Levi Dubinsky from the Chabad Center for Jewish Life, Mountain Lakes, Boonton, and Denville will now give the invocation.
Dear Mayor Andes, council, town officials, and all those who serve our beautiful township of Denville, and of course to the residents, good evening and Happy New Year. As we gather here today, I would like to extend good wishes and blessings to our leaders, and to all those who serve our community. May God Almighty bestow upon the leaders of this great township wisdom and understanding so that they can continue on the path of justice and goodness. Bless these individuals in whom faith and confidence have been placed upon to make decisions that will affect the lives of their citizens. Let them recognize that this is not only a great honor and a civic responsibility, but also a holy endeavor. There are people in our community who are struggling, some with physical health, some with mental health, and any other challenge. They can use our prayers, but more importantly, our love and our compassion. Just imagine a world where people no longer feel alone, ashamed, or anxious, that no one cares for them. Dear friends, we can make that a reality, and we can start today. Let's not wait for others to step up for our neighbors in pain. We are the leaders. Every single one of us has the responsibility to step up to the plate and show love and compassion to everyone in need. It starts with a simple smile and showing interest in the well-being of another. This has the power to change a person's day in the most beautiful and meaningful way. May God grant us all wisdom and compassion so we can be there for all those who need us. Almighty God, grant that those assembled here be aware of your presence and this holy mission. May we continue to prosper with the message of freedom and the ability to be just and kind through continued acts of goodness and kindness. May the Township of Denville serve as a beacon of light for the people of all faiths and walks of life to achieve the goal so powerfully stated in our Pledge of Allegiance, so that America is truly one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And let us all say, Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. In the audience today, there's one individual we would like to acknowledge, and that is former councilman and town crier Doug Gable. I don't believe I'm missing anybody else. Okay. I will now call the roll for the 2025 municipal council members of the Township of Denville. Councilman Borowick.
Here.
Councilman Bowie.
Here.
Councilman Galinsky.
Here.
Councilwoman Kovacs.
Here.
Councilman Maffey.
Here.
Councilman Simpson.
Here.
Councilman Venice.
Here.
Thank you. Also in attendance, we have Thomas Andes, Mayor, Stephen Ward, Business Administrator, and both of our township attorneys, Fred Semrau and Sue Sharp. At this point, I would like to call for nominations for Council President.
I would like to nominate Christopher Galinsky for president.
Second.
Second. Okay. All right. First by Bowie, second by Simpson. I will now take the roll. Councilman Bowie.
Yes.
Councilman Simpson.
Yes.
Councilman Borowick.
Yes.
Councilman Galinsky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kovacs.
Yes.
Councilman Maffey.
Yes.
Councilman Venice.
Yes.
Thank you. At this time, I would ask that Council President-elect Galinsky and his family come forward for the oath of allegiance. Okay, please place your left hand on the Bible. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Christopher Galinsky,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same and to the governments established
to the same and to the governments established
in the United States and in this state,
in the United States and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will impartially and justly perform
that I will impartially and justly perform
all the duties of Council President
all the duties of Council President
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Mr. Banch. Thank you, Mackenzie. Thank you, Crier Gable. Thank you, Rabbi Dubinsky. And thank you all for being here tonight, for all the volunteering you do for our town. Much appreciated. I'd like to thank my predecessor, Councilman Bowie, for all his leadership. I'd like to thank my fellow council members for their confidence in me. I promise to do my best to support the efforts of our administration and all of our town people to provide for the public welfare and safety of all residents of Denville. I also promise to do my best to fight the unrealistic and nonsensical development requirements mandated by our governor and state legislature. I especially thank my wife for putting up with me while I try to do all those things. Thank you. All right, at this point in time, I would like to add one more special thank you, and that's I have a plaque of recognition for our past president, Councilman Glenn Bowie, with grateful appreciation for your outstanding leadership as president of the Denville Municipal Council. Thank you, Glenn. Great job. Glenn, did you want to say anything? Or? Okay. At this point in time, I'd like to open up the public portion. Would anybody from the public like to address the council? All right. Seeing none, close the public portion. And now I'd like to invite our mayor for the state of the municipality address, Your Honor.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me all right? Good. Hope everyone had a happy holiday season. I wish you all a healthy, happy, and prosperous New Year's, and thank you for being here with us tonight. I'd like to thank Rabbi Dubinsky for providing our invocation, Mackenzie Haggerty for singing the national anthem, and to our town crier, Doug Gable, for calling the meeting to order. Congratulations to Mark Venice for being appointed council at large last September, and to Chris Galinsky for being appointed council president. I look forward to working with our new council president. Thank you to the former council president, Glenn Bowie, who performed an admirable job as the council president last year. I have enjoyed working with the entire council, Each member brings a unique perspective and opinion into public policy, discussion for the betterment of our community. This council speaks their mind and votes with their conscience, which demonstrates when our elected officials work as a team, the people of Denville are best served. The cardinal points of this administration have always included proactive flood mitigation, continued downtown economic revitalization, infrastructure upgrades, outstanding public health and safety measures, creative senior, recreational, and social programs, and efficiency improvements, all while running the township in the most cost-effective manner possible. 2024 was a year of challenges, preparations, and accomplishments. During the past 11 years, the township has worked with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and the state of New Jersey to bring meaningful flood mitigation to our community. The Army Corps identified 38 properties located in flood-prone areas of our community that will be eligible for a combined $19 million in state and federal funds to raise or flood-proof their properties. This process has been the test of patience and persistence. We anticipate the meetings in early 2025 to finalize the details with the eligible property owners. To facilitate the elevation of homes, the council passed an ordinance that I signed into law that eliminates the need for property owners in this floodplain, in the flood zone area, to seek approvals from the local land use board if they are simply raising their existing homes in the floodplain. Furthermore, we were successful in having the Army Corps of Engineers agree to consider including other homes should any of the 38 identified choose not to voluntarily participate, as long as the properties are located within the Army Corps' defined geographic cluster. As to the downtown streetscape project, persistence paid off. After years of unsuccessful grant applications, the township was awarded $500,000 from the New Jersey Department of Transportation for Mass Transportation Improvement Project. The grant covers the cost of construction to update the streetscape on Bloomfield Avenue, which will be identical as Broadway and First Avenue. The public bidding process is complete, and a contract has been awarded with an anticipated start of the summer of 2025. Due to the very competitive price the contractor bid for Center Street, in an upcoming meeting, I'll be asking the council to allocate the funds to add Center Street to the project as well. We will never be able to complete it for the price that they quoted us. Our beautification committee will have plenty of opportunities to add more gardens to their great work. We will once again be applying for a T21 grant, streetscape renovations for Diamond Spring Road. We will continue to be persistent until we receive a grant to complete the downtown streetscape plans on every street downtown. Downtown Denville was a location for the filming of 2 different movies this past fall. We are in the process of making Denville a film-ready community, which will facilitate attracting movie production companies and dealing with them easier. Besides the publicity for our community, we found that the filming creates a genuine economic boom for the many of the downtown shops and restaurants. I'd like to thank Steve Crichton and the Downtown Denville Board for their cooperations and diligence in making sure the movie, filming, and many other events held downtown work well for everyone. In the last 2 weeks, the township mailed out letters which were mandated by the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection to those properties we have not independently verified the private service line is not lead or galvanized steel. The letter is largely a form letter we were required to use and asked water utility customers to respond to a survey. Now, almost 10% of the water customers responded to an online survey 2 years ago, and those individuals do not need to respond again, as we have your information. However, based upon the series of directives we are receiving from the New Jersey DEP, we want to also prepare our customers that they may receive similar letters in the coming years, as failure to send could result in the township being fined or otherwise penalized. The law requires that the township to ensure all water customers replace their private lead or galvanized service lines by 2031. Now, this is very important. The property owner is responsible for replacing their non-conforming line. The township is responsible for making sure the property owner performs their responsibility. So it behooves every one of the property owners who have galvanized or lead lines take care of it. Denville is fortunate that we do not have lead water mains in our water system, but meanwhile, the law requires that before 2031, the township to replace 13,520 linear feet of galvanized steel pipes on approximately a dozen streets. These are mostly located in Lake Arrowhead neighborhood. There are also 6 streets in Mountain Lakes and 2 streets in Rockaway Borough where we are their water provider. We applied for a federal grant for $1 million to offset the cost of replacement for our water utility customers. We passed the first round, but unfortunately, recently we found that we did not receive the grant. We have experienced a rash of water main breaks on Lakewood Drive late last year, 2023 and early 24. We separated the portion of Lakewood Drive water main replacement from the rest of the streets of the project. A contractor was awarded, and the replacement work has begun in late November. As a matter of fact, the whole main is in now. It's just the laterals that they're working on. Once the engineering is completed for the rest of the project, we will begin to make financial arrangements for water utility to finance the remainder of the project with iBank for low-interest financing, while continuing to pursue grant opportunities to minimize the impact on local water utility customers. There has been some relief in the supply chain backup on the long-awaited water meter replacement, which we are conducting throughout the entire township. This phase, which is anticipated to take approximately 5 years, will put state-of-the-art radio-controlled water meters, which will eliminate the need for water meter readers to physically go read the meters at each house. Currently, our DPW is performing the installation on a limited basis with the meters that we have received to date. Ultimately, these meters will enable us to give better service to our water customers, such as almost immediate large leak detection, and to do so with less manpower. We are focusing our water meter replacement program in the areas where we have galvanized water mains to better be able to identify those property owners with private lead or galvanized service lines. We anticipate eventually bringing in a licensed contractor to perform the majority of the water meter replacements. Annually, Denville's water utility has met or exceeded the United States Environmental Protection Agency's water quality standards. This past summer, the EPA made significant changes to the water safety standards as it relates to PFAS. And when it was announced, we, as well as every other Morris County water supplier, fell short on the new standards. Overnight, our water went from exceeding to not meeting the EPA standards. This year's budget will propose funding for engineering to prepare plans for the necessary filtration system to be installed at all our public well houses to ensure our water meets the new standards. I will note that the PFAS filtration systems are expensive and are estimated to exceed more than $1 million. The new EPA regulations provide us with 10 years to meet these new standards, which we aim to accomplish well in advance of that time frame. We continue the never-ending task of fixing drainage issues. This year, we installed the drainage pipe and stone on the shoulder of Smith Road as it approaches Mount Pleasant Turnpike. The DPW repaired over 100 storm catch basins, either in preparation of paving roads or failed basins. Currently, we have just 6 failed catch basins. We have applied for a $270,000 road paving grant for the southern end of Franklin Road and should hear from the state shortly. I'll be asking the council to allocate approximately $700,000 in funds for our road paving and streetscape programs. We anticipate providing a recommended road paving list to the council prior to our January 28th budget hearing with the engineer. We have submitted a joint application with Rockaway Borough and received an award of $475,000 to install a sidewalk on Franklin Avenue from Route 46 in Rockaway to the existing sidewalk in Denville at the entrance of Morris Knowles High School. This is an important pedestrian safety project as so many of the Morris Knowles students walk from the high school to the food establishments on Route 46 at lunch or after school. This is a somewhat complicated project as it involves multiple jurisdictions and grant funding rules. Funding will be requested in the 2025 budget for engineering designs and construction period management of the project, which will be shared equally with Rockaway Borough. The township was successful in an application through Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill for direct federal appropriations to renovate the historic two-room schoolhouse at 501 Opanaki Road. We awarded $1 million to restore the outside of the building to provide a visual appearance of roughly what it originally looked like, and to modernize the interior to create additional public meeting space for the library and township programs, along with other community meetings and events. The building was originally a school from 1908 to 1957 before turning into the Board of Education's offices. In 1913, town meetings were held at the school before a referendum was held to separate Union Hill and Denville from Rockaway Township. We are currently working through a rather burdensome federal grant requirement before we can go to bid and construction can begin. I'm somewhat reluctant to provide a time estimate as this is our first time working through this specific federal funding mechanism. There are 5 projects that are on the horizon that are not in direct control of the township. New Jersey DOT and New Jersey Transit had forced the issue to close the Lackawanna crossing. Currently, New Jersey DOT and New Jersey Transit are battling out engineering details on the improvements of the emergency access road, which was part of the agreement. The township has obtained the necessary easements agreements from the property owners adjacent to the Franklin Avenue Bridge. We are now waiting for New Jersey DOT and New Jersey Transit to work out the cost and design details. We asked New Jersey Transit to coordinate construction scheduling with Morris Knowles High School, as it is estimated the bridge could be closed for upwards to 8 months. The Opanaki Bridge is still in the planning stages at Morris County with an anticipated 5-year timeline for completion. New Jersey DOT is still working on plans to improve safety and traffic flow in both directions between Franklin Road and Woodstone Road on Route 46. We have reiterated the concerns of the neighborhood while acknowledging improvements need to be made. New Jersey DOT and Morris County held public meetings on the replacement of the Lenape Island Bridge. Different plans were discussed on how to keep access to the island while the new bridge was being built in the same location. There are many design hurdles here that will require many meetings that no doubt will take many years. Our major concerns are keeping the island residents safe and the historic archway. Copies of various designs options are on file at the municipal clerk's office should any member of the public want to review. Based upon the comments received at the public meeting, the county has asked the funding federal agency to discuss the process of considering a waiver that would justify deviation from current design requirements. Excuse me. For over 82 years, our fire department has handled first aid calls 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That was until September 2021 when Denville was the last community that could make that statement. At that point, it became obvious that it was just too much strain on available daytime volunteers. The volunteers have continued providing us with first aid service along with the paid service from Morris County and St. Clair's Hospital. There were signs that an adjustment needed to be made this summer. Our volunteer EMTs and EMRs were able to refine their hours of responsibility and instituted a duty night program that exceeded our expectations. The council and I are very proud of the Denville Volunteer Fire Department was able to maintain 24/7 volunteer first aid for as long as they did, and still has a motivated group of trained volunteers committed to supply some first aid service. New volunteers have joined, and it is our hope that this will continue, and someday the Denville Fire Department can return first aid to full volunteer service to our community someday in the future. Anyone interested in being the ultimate volunteer for our community can go to the Main Street Firehouse at 7:30 any Monday night. Because of the state mandated affordable housing, we will be asking the council for an additional police officer in 2025. And we envision that the need to increase the authorized complement of SWAT officers several more times in the coming years based on the projected growth of our community. 2010, when the police station expansion was approved, no one could have imagined the influx of Class 3 officers we now have working in our 8 private and public elementary and high school buildings. Due to the many factors increasing the size of the department, we have begun to look at the options to potentially expand the existing floor plan of the police department. I don't anticipate funding for an expansion to be included in the 2025 budget. However, I want everyone to know that in the coming years, this will eventually have to be addressed. Our new turf field at Veterans Memorial Field is finished and being used by our youth sports programs. We have installed a set of new flagpoles at Veterans Memorial Field to honor the nation's active military and veteran members of each branch of our military service. We have secured a New Jersey state grant for $70,000 to replace the playground at Denbrook Park. Demolition has occurred, the site is being prepared, and the playground will be installed. They told me today could be as early as Friday. The Open Space and Trails Committee continues to expand its local trail network with construction completed on Phase 1 of the Knuth Walking Path, which will eventually create a 3/4-mile hiking path around Knuth Fields. Our Phase 2 application was approved in October 2024, which enabled us to complete the project in 2025. The township has begun to collect revenue from the tree replacement ordinance that went into effect last year. Property owners and developers are required to replace a certain percentage of trees being removed on larger sites. If it is not possible, they can pay into a tree fund or replace trees on township property. The ordinance allows for the fund to pay for new trees, maintaining healthy trees, removing dead trees, removing trees that have fallen into our rivers, purchase tree maintenance equipment, and preserve open space. To date, we have received $561,000, which is in a dedicated account. We recently planted 72 trees in our parks, by our buildings, and in the Main Street parking lot, and plan to continue similar plantings over the next few years. We will then start limiting the spending to the interest income the following years to follow, which will enable us to have a continuous funding. As the years go on, we anticipate at some point contributions will diminish. With input from our Environmental Commission, Dave Sipple, the chairman of the Beautification Committee, made the tree selection at locations determined by the Township Administration and staff. The Environmental Commission championed the tree ordinance revision, which outlines the benefits of installing native species, avoiding invasive species. The township and all new land use applications will be required, and all property owners will be encouraged to adhere to the new standards. The merger of our Environmental Commission with our Rivers and Streams and Green Sustainability Committee is working well. The new synergy has created an increase in proactive environmental activities. Green initiatives are continuing, and the rivers and streams are being cleaned and desnagged. The remodeling and the new floors, fixtures, and furniture at our library have made a significant improvement to our patrons' experience. Our library director, Siobhan Koch, and the library board adapt as society changes to provide the outstanding facility. Many great activities and programs for our seniors, adults, and children. Our senior groups are doing well. Even though Monday Ladies Group folded due to lack of leadership, The Wednesday ladies absorbed the remaining Monday members and is growing, as is both the men's and the co-eds club. My wife and I had the opportunity to join them on a trip last spring. They are a lively group that knows how to have a good time. But mostly, I've always been extremely impressed by how our seniors take care of each other. The Denville Recreation Committee continues to hold the spring and fall senior socials. Its former recreation member, now Councilman Mark Venice, continues to take the lead on this wonderful program, which has continued for the past 25 years. Over the last 30 years, the township has done a remarkable job working with POWWW, the Land Conservancy of New Jersey, Morris County Open Space Fund, and New Jersey Green Acres in buying and preserving land to add to our open space inventory. We currently have 2 property owners looking to donate about 25 acres of undeveloped land. Over 18% of all the land in Denville has been permanently preserved, and with our lake communities, 20% of the community is open to nature and recreation. Years ago, it was said that the town was in pursuit of the 3 crown jewels of open space: the watershed, Cook's Pond, and Knuth Farm properties. And we secured them all. We continue to look for the right land acquisition opportunities. A 4th jewel was created when Spring Point purchased the St. Francis property, and then, despite our pleas, demolished the historic buildings. They initially indicated they were planning on developing a memory care facility and would leave much of the property in its current state. However, earlier this year, we advised Springport was foregoing their plans to build a memory care unit. They were undecided, but if they were going to sell it, they would list the property through a real estate broker. The township had the property appraised and applied for a Morris County Open Space and Farmland Preservation Trust grant for a grant, which unfortunately was not approved this past round. In our most recent conversations with Spring Point, they have indicated a willingness to potentially sell the property to the township. Therefore, we are working with them to hopefully arrive at terms that are reasonable and acceptable to all parties. In my opinion, anything other than senior living or parkland for this site is inappropriate and would dramatically alter our downtown community. In 2022, we took the opportunity to preserve what is purportedly the oldest home in Denville at 560 Opanaki Road. This property has a rich history as it goes back to at least the 1750s, and records place George Washington at the house during the Revolutionary War. The township secured the house and had hopes that Denville Historical Society would use it as a museum annex and allow the library to use it for storage. Denville TV had gone through some exciting and dramatic changes and is now Denville Community Media. The number of volunteers in the committee has increased substantially and has taken on the task of recording our current events as tomorrow's history of Denville. Denville Community Media is using the house as a studio and production center. I'd like to thank them for their renewed energy that they have exhibited and their fine productions that they create, and for being here tonight. Okay. Excuse me. In 2021, Denville was one of the final municipalities in the entire state to sell our third-round state-mandated affordable housing for the period of 2015 to 2025, due to our efforts to reduce the number to as low as reasonably possible. Originally, our 2015 affordable housing obligation was determined to be 1,786 units. With our final number, after all those years of work, was reduced to 196 units with 48 credits for an actual 148 affordable units. We are entering the 4th round of the state affordable housing mandates for the period 2025-2035. A new law was passed which created a whole new process, completely different than any of the previous rounds. COA, the Council on Affordable Housing, has been eliminated by the state legislature, and unlike the 3rd round, the courts are no longer involved in the assignment of affordable housing obligations. Instead, a statutory formula has been developed and a series of dates where municipalities are required to meet certain milestones. Missing any of the milestones would potentially place Denville at risk of losing our immunity from the builder's remedy lawsuits. In such scenario, Denville would lose all control of decisions related to housing developments in our community. Under my leadership, we have always remained in compliance in order to protect our immunity, as we've seen the catastrophic impacts of those communities who have lost their immunity. On October 20th, 2024, the DCA released its calculations for each municipality's affordable housing obligations. They assigned Denville an obligation of 485 units for the fourth round. It is a formula-based calculation, and our professionals are reviewing the calculations to determine their accuracy. The next deadline will be January 31st, in which all municipalities are required to adopt a binding resolution accepting the state obligation or identifying miscalculations made by the state and identifying the correct number based on the statutory formula. Remarkably, if a municipality is able to demonstrate it has no developable land, two of the three other factors in the statutory formula would still assign a sizable affordable housing obligation. After reviewing all the fine print of the new fourth round affordable housing legislation, the formula utilized to calculate the municipality's obligation is inherently unfair to municipalities such as Denville. The town council and I have decided to join a bipartisan group of municipalities who are willing to take legal action. The crux of the argument is that the state identifies 62 qualified urban A communities, they call them QAMs, that are exempt from being assigned an affordable housing obligation. However, this is the kicker, the formula used to determine Denville and other municipalities' fourth round obligation is significantly inflated, as the obligation which should be assigned to the QAMs is not eliminated, but instead spread among the other non-QAM municipalities. Denville is one of the original nine original municipalities in the lawsuit, which has increased to 26 towns. On December 20th, Mercer County Superior Judge Robert Lowy heard the municipality's arguments on whether to pause the fourth round of state affordable housing deadlines to provide time for the court to review the matter. The judge noted the urgency of a looming January 31st, 2025 deadline for towns to adopt an affordable housing obligation number, adding he planned to issue the decision on the motion to pause the new affordable housing deadlines by year end, describing the request as not an ask of small consequences. Last Thursday, we received news that the judge entered an order denying our joint application to propose the deadline. Besides our adversaries at the Fair Share Housing Center, a coalition from the New Jersey Urban Mayors Associations also intervened against our motion. This makes sense, as the group consists of many of the 62 qualified urban aid municipalities that were exempt from the new affordable housing obligation this round, which was the crux of our argument of the unfair nature of the legislation. It is likely the coalition of municipalities will join and will appeal the judge's decision. However, the burden of proof is now much higher, and the anticipated success of such an appeal is rather low. Meanwhile, our plans remains the same, just like we did in the last round, to fulfill our scheduled legal requirements and defend our calculations and on every parcel of land as hard as we can for as long as we can. I would like to make it crystal clear that we are not opposed to affordable housing in our community. We all know seniors, young people still living with parents, people with challenges, veterans, single parents that need help. We are not against new people of different races, creed, cultures moving into our community. We are against the unrealistic obligation along with the high density with no consideration being taken for the increased traffic on our roads, our water and sanitary sewer system, the stress of our school system, and the need to hire additional police and other municipal staff. Our leaders in Trenton, The governor, the Senate president, and the Assembly Speaker are constantly pushing their green agenda. We live in the most densely populated state in the nation. The need for affordable housing exists, but we should be looking to preserve the appropriate parcels of land that remain undeveloped and concentrate on developing areas that every city, town, and rural village has that could use an overhaul or facelift. Our local state elected officials understand our position and have constantly voted to protect our communities. Nothing will change until the people who set the state agenda change. Suffice to say, 2025 will be a busy year for myself, the Township Council, and our legal team and other professionals in an effort to fight against unrealistic obligations being proposed, while still being mindful of our constitutional obligation so as never to lose our immunity from the builder's remedy. Our first mandated obligation is to accept 485 affordable housing units required. We are assigned or submit a number of units we commit to by January 31st. At next week's council workshop, our affordable housing attorney Ed Buzak and our planner Jason Kessler will be in attendance to review the state's calculations and options. All are welcomed, and I encourage you to come. On a happier note, 2026 will be our country's semi-quincentennial. July 4th, 2026 will be the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration. 2026 will also mark the 100th anniversary of the Denville Volunteer Fire Department. I have formed an events and celebration committee who will be working with the Recreation Committee to plan, organize, and carry out a fun-filled celebratory calendar of community, patriotic, educational, and family-oriented events. The 2024 municipal budget approved by the council authorized no borrowing of money or accumulating debt. From our review, this is the first time in 100 years that the municipal budget had no debt authorized. Although final preparations are still underway, administration believes it will once again be able to propose a budget to the Township Council in 2025 that does not create debt and will keep Denville's general fund on track to be debt-free. In fact, in 2025, we will be making our final payment on our next to last permanent bond, and we'll have only one permanent bond outstanding, which matures in 2029. Employee salaries, health insurance, pension obligations, and the cost of materials are constantly increasing and outpacing inflation. There are only a few ways that we can address that issue. We eliminate some services. We can cut our staff, thus reducing services. We can increase property taxes, or we can increase ratables on the number of people who pay property taxes. Everything in municipal government takes balance. We all wish our property taxes were less, but we want to keep our current high level of municipal services. No one really likes seeing new houses or businesses being built, but we never think about how people felt when our house was being built, or the simple fact that people, private property owners, have a right to build on their land. The financial goal of this administration remains the same, which is to implement smart business practices and technologies that can streamline efficiencies, pay less interest on reducing our debt, increase our open space inventory, and avoid lawsuits by practical development. We have another smart business practice opportunity. We hope to be presenting to the council a resolution for a shared service agreement with Mountain Lakes, where we will provide their animal control services. This will be added to our shared service agreements, the municipal court with Mountain Lakes, deputy tax assessor with Chatham, health officer and nursing services with Morris County, and the town hall space with the Denville Board of Education. As I conclude my address, I respectfully request that the town council grant advice and consent to the resolution of the mayoral and administrative appointments. It includes the reappointment of our Chief Financial Officer, Jessica Fauci, who has proven to be not only a financially prudent and conservative, but also a very good manager of her department. Since becoming mayor, I've been blessed to have a great team on the dais and on our staff. Over the next 3 years, we have many plans and goals. We have a team that is up to the task of completing these projects while keeping our tax rate low and remaining financially prudent. I'd like to thank the entire team of elected and appointed officials for working together. I'm very appreciative of our team of department managers led by Administrator Steve Ward, Police Chief Frank Perna, and DPW Director John Egbert, and each of our employees who are all hardworking and dedicated professionals. I'm grateful for their entire staff for the outstanding job they do every day. I'd also like to express my sincere gratitude to our many volunteers for the hard work and dedication to our community. It is their commitment that enables us to provide services that we otherwise might not be able to afford. We are very fortunate to have over 200 volunteers and numerous active civic organizations who work well with our staff and support the township. Clearly, without them, we would not be able to provide numerous quality services and the number of programs we do. Thank you all for working together to make Denville the finest place to live, work, raise a family, and retire. And thank you, and may God continue to send his blessings to the good people of Denville. May God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much, people. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor, for a very comprehensive recap of such wonderful work going on in our town, along with some of the honest realities and challenges that we face. Thank you for your persistent hard work day in and day out. I'd like to also take a quick minute to thank three gentlemen that have joined us. Sheriff Jim Gannon, thank you. Commissioner Doug Gabbana and Commissioner Tom Mastrangelo. Gentlemen, thank you for being here tonight, but more importantly, thank you for your support of Denville throughout the year and at all you do for our county. On tonight's agenda, we have 10 resolutions on the consent agenda. Resolution R 25-01, resolution designating official newspaper for notices in 2025. Resolution 25-02, amending the Township of Denville Municipal Council meeting dates for the year 2025. Resolution 25-03, designating legal depositories for public monies for 2025 pursuant to NJSA 40A:5-14. Resolution 2504, appointing assessment lien searches for the year 2025. Resolution 25-05, appointing custodians of petty cash funds for the year 2025. Resolution 25-06, authorizing tax assessor to enter into tax appeal settlements on behalf of the Township of Denville for 2025. Resolution 25-07, establishing interest penalty charges on delinquent taxes for the year 2025 pursuant to NJSA 54:4-67. Resolution 25-08, appointing municipal council liaison representatives to various committees, boards, and commission within the Township of Denville. Resolution 25-09, extending advice and consent of the Township of Denville Municipal Council to various mayoral appointments. And R 25-10, resolution designating year 2025 Public Agency Compliance Officer, PACO, for the Township of Denville. Would anybody from the council like to have any of these resolutions removed from the consent agenda? Anyone from the public? Seeing none, may I have a motion on the consent agenda, please?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Bowie,
Yes.
Councilman Borowick,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kovacs,
Yes.
Councilman Maffey,
Yes.
Councilman Simpson,
Yes.
Councilman Venice,
Yes.
Council President Bowie, I'm sorry, Council President Galinsky.
Yes. We have, it's okay. I know, he's better looking. All right.
I'm so used to it.
We have four resolutions on the non-consent agenda. Resolution R 25-11, reappointing and appointing zoning board of adjustment members. May I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Bowie,
Yes.
Councilman Maffey,
Yes.
Councilman Borowick,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kovacs,
Yes.
Councilman Simpson,
Yes.
Councilman Venice,
Yes.
Council President Galinsky.
Yes.
Thank you.
R 25-12, temporary budget for the year 2025. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Sorry, who was the first?
Glenn.
Glenn? Okay. Okay. Councilman Bowie,
Yes.
Councilman Simpson,
Yes.
Councilman Borowick,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kovacs,
Yes.
Councilman Maffey,
Yes.
Councilman Venice,
Yes.
Council President Galinsky.
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution R 25-13, resolution authorizing settlement of certain tax appeals. Motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Simpson,
Yes.
Councilman Bowie,
Yes.
Councilman Borowick,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kovacs,
Yes.
Councilman Maffey,
Yes.
Councilman Venice,
Yes.
Council President Galinsky.
Yes.
You.
Resolution R 25-14, resolution reappointing Jessica Lynn Fauci as Chief Financial Officer, CFO for the Township of Denville.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Venice,
Yes.
Councilman Borowick,
Yes.
Councilman Bowie,
Absolutely.
Councilwoman Kovacs,
Yes.
Councilman Maffey,
Yes.
Councilman Simpson,
Yes.
Council President Galinsky.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now the moment that many of you have been waiting for, the oaths of allegiance. Are we going to do this in two sections or one? Do you want
I believe we're going to do it all in one.
all in one, right? Okay. So I'll at the end, right, we have a bunch of oaths for everybody to come up and sign on the different tables right here with pens. So just put your position and your name and sign it, please. In the meantime.
Yep. And at this time, I'm going to, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to meet the town crier down here and the mayor. The mayor will hold the Bible. The town crier will, who is also being reappointed, will place his hand on the Bible and raise his hand. And everyone else in the audience who is part of any committee or board that needs to be reappointed tonight will be able to stand and raise your right hand, and we'll swear everybody in at once. After that, we're just going to quickly adjourn the meeting, so it's only going to be a few seconds after that. Then at that time, when the meeting adjourns, everyone can come up and sign the oath. Okay? Raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. And repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of New Jersey. And that I will bear true faith and allegiance. To the same and to the governments established. In the United States and in this state. Under the authority of the people. So help me God. I do further solemnly swear. That I will impartially and justly perform. All the duties of the. According to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations.
All right, congratulations, everyone. Thank you very much for all your volunteer efforts. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Happy New Year.
You got a great gavel.
It's okay. Okay, let me stop.
All right, let me ask him. Okay.
You always add Never took part.
You. Seems like a nice little